The CE calls on citizens to uphold China's sovereignty, security and development interests during National Day celebrations. Canada and the US reach an agreement to save NAFTA. And medicine men, a pair of researchers, are awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Good evening. It's Chinese National Day today. There were different celebrations across the country to mark the 69th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. In the capital, roughly 110,000 people gathered in Tiananmen Square for the flag-raising ceremony. The Chinese flag was escorted into the square by 96 members of the People's Liberation Army Guard of Honor. During the ceremony, more than 10,000 doves were released to symbolize peace and good fortune. Here in Hong Kong, the chief executive marked National Day with a reminder to safeguard China's sovereignty, security and development interests. Elmi Lung looks at how celebrations unfolded.
Chief Executive Carrie Lam received a warm welcome on her way to Golden Bauhinia Square this morning. Principal local and mainland officials stood and sang the national anthem during the flag-raising ceremony. Celebrations soon continued indoors inside the Convention and Exhibition Centre. As expected, Carrie Lam's speech centred on the increased connectivity between Hong Kong and the mainland, notably with the local section of the Express Rail link entering service 8 days ago. Then, this reminder. The leader said there has to be an accurate understanding of one country, two systems. She repeated President Xi Jinping's analogy that one country is like tree roots and they have to run deep before the tree can flourish. National sovereignty, security and development interests, she stressed, must be firmly upheld. While there was no mention of Article 23 legislation on stage, a National People's Congress Standing Committee member said that should be implemented soon. Tam Yu-chung hopes to see the National Security Bill completed within this term of the government, which ends in 2022. Former Chief Executive Donald Tsang was absent from the reception as he's serving jail time for misconduct in public office. There was no sight of former leader Chen Chi-hua either. He was in Beijing for a meeting, but no word if he'll return to Hong Kong by high-speed rail officials spoke so highly of. Outside the reception venue in Wan Chai, the League of Social Democrats chanted slogans on the need for universal suffrage and an end to one-party rule in China. Elmi Lung, TVB News.
Celebrations aside, there was a major protest in town where people expressed their anger over the construction scandal surrounding the MTR's Sha Tin to Central link. Organisers said 1,500 people attended the rally, while police claimed 1,250 were there at its peak. Caleb Lung was there.
The atmosphere in Causeway Bay this afternoon was hardly as festive as the flag-raising ceremony in the morning. The Civil Human Rights Front organized a march, which began at East Point Road at 3 p.m. Although one major theme of today's protest is about problems with Hong Kong's railway system, some protesters also brought their own concerns to voice out during the march. Notably, freedom of assembly.
It's about the ban of Hong Kong National Party. We are not meaning that we are trying to support Hong Kong National Party, but we are urging about the freedom of assembly.
There are participants who are afraid that their voices will no longer be heard in the future.
I'm more concerned about the 23. If the law is not passed, then nobody can say anything.
If we do nothing, and Hong Kong will become worse and worse, if no one come out and speak for this, and the government will keep on and restricting our rights.
This includes pro-independence activists who joined the march when it reached Southland Playground. Pro-government ralliers were also in Wan Chai, shouting at participants of the march. The protesters used around 90 minutes to reach the East Wing forecourt of the central government offices, where a rally was held afterwards. Caleb Loon, TVB News.
Scuffles broke out shortly after protesters arrived at the central government offices. It came after some protesters with Hong Kong independence placards were stopped from entering the forecourt. They were there to join an assembly after the rally. 3 security guards were sent to hospital with injuries sustained during the scuffles. The government said tonight that Hong Kong residents shall have freedom of speech, assembly and demonstration. However, such rights and freedoms are subject to restrictions under the law. Any activities that promote Hong Kong independence will be prohibited outside the forecourt. Macau also joined the National Day celebrations. Attending the ceremony at the Golden Lotus Square were its chief executive Fernando Choi and mainland officials. In the afternoon, around 200 parents took to the streets demanding reunions with their children who are living on the mainland. With only temporary stay permits, the parents are not allowed to apply for residency on behalf of their children. The National Day Golden Week holiday got underway on the mainland, and the newly launched Express Rail Link is expected to face its first travel peak. Mainland authorities estimate a daily average of 70,000 people will be taking high-speed trains during the holiday period to travel between Hong Kong and the mainland. But as Christy Leung reports, the passenger numbers still fall short of that estimate.
The Express Rail Link's West Kowloon terminus began getting busy at 9 a.m. Given the previous ticketing hiccups, more ticket counters and machines are in service to speed up the process. This mainland resident who is visiting Hong Kong for the first time says it took him less than 20 minutes to come here by the high-speed railway. And these visitors will stop over in Hong Kong before flying to Taiwan.
I'm going to Harbour City to take a tour. Then tonight I'm taking the airplane to Taipei. There's more frequent flights in Hong Kong airport and there's times flexibles.
Despite the travel peak, the MTR Corporation only expected 60,000 passengers using the Express Rail Link today, which falls short of the government's initial estimates of 80,000. Only 83 pairs of express trains operate daily this week, instead of 127 pairs, which the MTR Corporation announced earlier. MTRC Chairman Frederick Ma said adjustments were made with their mainland counterparts based on passengers' flows and manpower. Meanwhile, in Sai Kung, a tourist hotspot, it is less busy today than previous National Day Golden Week holidays. Damage caused by Super Typhoon Mangkhut 2 weeks ago can still be seen. Usually 1,000 travelers on island tours, but the number has gone down by half after the typhoon, said this lady. Dada's piers and other facilities on some islands in the Sai Kung area, such as those on Shop Island, have been destroyed. Despite a drop in business after the typhoon, this Chinese restaurant operator was happy to see that more tourists were coming in today. Christy Leung, TVB News.
Alzheimer's disease is characterized by memory loss, but those who have it need not be seen as a burden. One organization trains some of them to lead guided tours and share stories they still remember from decades ago. Elmi Lung has details.